All right, we are at the last video of the series. This is the end of the sort of beginner slash intermediate level, and hopefully I'll be adding new ones for the higher levels afterwards. Gradually, eventually I'll have a whole entire playlist for them. Here's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to have multiple levels. We're going to have an objective, something that you have to actually complete in order to finish the level. And we're also going to have a quit button in case you want to leave the game. Maybe you're bored of it and you've had enough or whatever. We're going to add that as well. So let's start with the objective. So the game is called Treasure Seeker, and right now we have him collecting chests. So I think it only makes sense that he has to find all the chests in order to complete the level. Maybe in a later video we will add the ability to fight the enemies and whatever, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So we've got a chest already built, and the chest has everything we need. It's got the script with the pickup objects already attached to it. It's basically set up and ready to go. So we can go into our list here. We can just duplicate it. We can make a copy of it, and we can drag another copy of our chest. Let's hide one maybe behind the house. Somewhere like that. Be sneaky. Try to sneak, make this game have a little bit of a challenge to it. It's tough for me to get it back there, but I'll just slip it back there, rotate it a bit. This is not a good way to do it, by the way, guys. I should be zoomed in on it and actually checking it out. Let's see. There we go. Okay, sorry. Let's do it the right way. Let's tuck it up behind the back of the house here. Rotate it a little bit. Like this. Move it back just a bit. Just like that. Okay, so it's hidden back behind that house. All right, so there's chest number 2. And we got this chest. Again, we can move this, reorder it. We can put it all together so the chests are all together. Take that first chest again, duplicate it again. So now we got chest number 2, or, well, I guess technically it's 3. And let's hide this one maybe, I don't know, somewhere in the trees. Somewhere where people aren't even going to think to look. All right, we'll bring it sort of somewhere over here. Yeah, this is cool, sort of under the tree. I don't want it to be very visible, though, when the player's playing. It'll be there, but it'll just be kind of off camera a little bit. Okay, so we got 3 chests, and they've all got the same script, which means that obviously if we run this game or this scene, yeah, you can just barely see that chest there, so that's cool. Except for the pop-in, but that's okay. So collect 1, collect 2, come around the house, collect 3. Okay, so that's going to be the objective of this level, is to collect all 3 chests without getting hit by the guys, because they will kill you. And we need to write in something that will allow us to complete the level, I guess you could say. So what we'll do is let's make a real simple little screen here that says you won. Okay, so we'll just go and make a new canvas, new UI canvas. Yeah, let's make a new canvas. I'm just trying to think of the right way to do this. Let's do a canvas. We'll call it win screen. Okay, win screen. Basically when we beat the game. And we're going to go to 2D view, and let's just double click that canvas. There it is. Looks like we got the pause menu. At least I did. I had the pause menu open. On the win screen, I'm going to just add a UI element. Let's do a raw image. Let's use the rec tool and scale it up so it fits. Something like that. I'm going to set the color to black. And I'm just going to guess at the alpha here just so it's semi-transparent, something like that. And then I'm going to take my text tool right on this, this canvas. We're going to add another UI element. It's going to be text. It's going to say, "You won!" exclamation mark for added effect. Okay, there we go. Whoops. Let's move it over to the center more or less, and we can use this to position it. we'll center it. We'll find our center and we'll put it there roughly. You won. Okay, that's what it's going to say. For now, it's not going to do anything other than say you won. And we'll set its visibility to turned off, basically, for the normal portion of the game. All right, so now we need to have a way to trigger its renderer so that we can actually see it and it's going to be visible. So we've done this before for the pause menu, if you remember. But now what we want to do is we want to have it checking to see if we get 3 of the pickups. And again, if we go way back, if we were to go way back to our early tutorials, we did do something very similar to this. So in our scripts, we're going to create let's do it inside of pickup objects, okay? So inside of pickup objects, that makes the most sense, is to have a script inside there. Currently what it's doing is if it's checking the global variables to see if the pickups, it adds a pickup to that. But let's have inside of here also, inside of this collision, that it also checks if the global variables dot pickups, oh geez, sorry guys, double equals 3. Okay, so if our global variable pickups equals 3, then we will have our win menu show up. So we can actually look back to here where we had, if you remember, set active, right? Which was what we had before. Okay, what we have here though, we have win menu, which is our, or win screen, which is our oh, and of course we need to set a game object for that too, right? So I got to do that as well. Okay, so let's do that as well. So let's just take this line. I'm really bad. I don't like having to retype things. So we are in pickup objects. So in here, we are going to make a public game object called winActive. Okay, winActive is the name. And we are going to have win, this is not, it's not camel case, it should be camel case. winActive dot, and again, if we look, right, back at our pause menu, right, set active is going to be true. Okay, so dot set active is going to be true. Okay, true. Another thing we can set, yeah, we can leave this for now, I would say. Oops, I put a double period there. Perfect. Okay, I think that should be good. We can also set our time timescale to 0. Oops, not that one. Timescale to 0. Okay, why is that not working right? Hang on, why am I? Oh, yeah, okay, I'm doing it the wrong way, obviously. Equals 0, sorry. It's been a long day. Equals 0, there we go. Okay, so it'll pause and it'll show the win menu. So basically what we did there, very simply, we checked to see if global variables dot pickups equals 3, and if it does, then winActive is going to be set active to true, and our time will pause. Don't forget, once we save this, okay, and this is pickup objects, we're going to have to set that game object as winActive. So we could have done this actually before we did our chests, because I think now we got to set it to everyone, which is kind of stupid. I should have had it as a global variable. That's okay. All right, there it is. Okay, so we've added it to each of the chests. So If I collect 3, we should have the win menu come up, and let's see if that works. Here we go. Oh, I don't want to die. 1, 2. You won. I collected on the back side of the house. Game paused, and we won the game. Okay, cool. So that's working just perfectly. All right, now inside this pickup objects, we also probably want to set our pickups back to 0. Okay, so our global variables dot pickups equals 0 goes back to 0 at this point also. Okay, so we beat the level. We got the 3 chests, and now it goes back to 0. So very simply, something we've done many times. I'm just going to save this. We're going to simply add a next level button to the U1 menu. But before we do that, we need to have somewhere for it to go. I'm going to show you a real quick thing that you can do. If your game is pretty consistent, like let's say the next level he has to pick up 6 treasure chests and there's faster enemies or whatever. I don't want to have to rebuild everything over again. You know, I might want to change the terrain and do all that stuff. But I want the mechanics to be the same. So what you can do here pretty easily is select all of your elements on the left side just by holding Shift. Or I don't know if Command A works. I haven't tried that. Let's see. Yeah, Command A works as well, or Control A. And then we're going to right click and I'm going to copy them. Okay. And then I'm going to go down into my folders here. I'm going to go into scenes. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to create a scene. And I'm going to call this scene level 2. Okay. Now I started off with a bad habit here. I left it as sample scene, which is the default Unity name, but we'll just leave it for now. Level 2, we go into there, save your scene that you're on, and then all you got to do is simply select all here. Actually, I would just do this and then paste, and just make sure you get rid of your main camera and your directional light so that they don't interfere with the one that was there. And now level 2 will basically be exactly the same as level 1. Okay, it's going to be, everything's going to be exactly the same. But from this starting point, you could easily add more enemies, change your buildings around, add more chests, change the world. You know, if the game follows the same sort of mechanics throughout, very easy to just add another level. So I just added this quick and dirty, but it's enough for it to go somewhere. So I'm going to save this. And I'm going to go to my build settings. If you remember this from before, build settings, and we're going to add the open scene, and it's going to become 2, which is nice because sample scene, which is actually level 1, is 1, and level 2 is level 2. Or level 2 is 2. So that's good. Okay, so we're good. Now let's go back to our main scene. Ooh, you know what? Shoot, I jumped the gun here. I really should have added the quit game feature because now I'm going to have to double it up, but that's okay. We're going to go back to sample scene, which looks exactly the same. So we want the option for people to quit the game. We want people to be able to leave the game if they've had enough, if they're bored, or they just don't want to play anymore. And the frustrating thing about Unity is it isn't built in. You can't just automatically quit, like escape key's not going to work or whatever. But if you do recall, a while back we made a pause menu, which is still working, by the way. Shortcut was to press P and it would take you to the pause menu. Now I modified the pause menu. Okay, I modified it and I added a few things to it. I'm going to show you what we're going to change. So yours will look a little different than mine, but I will simply void out, or I'll talk about the things that I've added here. So for right now, I'm going to comment out. Yeah, I'm going to comment this out all the way to here because we'll come back to that after. Okay. One thing I did change is the pause menu now has the key code escape. Okay, before it was P. And the escape key now will bring up the pause menu. The reason I did that is most people who play games will recognize the escape key as sort of the key that you would press, not the P key, to bring up a menu where you could either quit or make changes or whatever. So I'm going to save this. You should do the same. Add the escape. Don't worry about this yet. We'll get to it. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the pause menu itself. And so the pause menu by default is turned off, but we're going to turn it on. We're going to go to the 2D screen. We're going to double click on the pause menu canvas, and we're going to go take a look at it. Right now we have the resume game button on there. And what we're going to do is we're just going to simply, well, there's a couple ways we can do it. Let's just go here. Let's duplicate it. Okay, and then we're going to use the move tool, and we're going to move the duplicate down like that. This is going to become our quit game button. So remember, with buttons, inside the button is where you access the text, and I'm going to put quit game like that. Okay, and you will notice on the button itself, for the copy we just made, it actually has the wrong code on there, so we're going to actually get rid of that. On click, we're going to just remove that condition that was on there. Okay, and we're going to make our own condition for the quit game. So in order to do that, quite simple, we could put it into another script, I suppose. Do we want to do it that way? No. Well, okay, let's do it. Yeah, let's make a new script for it. I think it'll just be easier to understand. We're going to right click. We're going to create a C# script. We're going to call it quit game. Okay. And quit game is going to have a very simple little script to it that basically we can get rid of this. Okay, we can go to our pause menu, and if you recall, in here we had the button clicked pause menu. Actually, you know what? I don't know why I commented that out, because that is for the resume game button. So let's take this. Let's actually steal this. Okay, button clicked. We're going to go to our quit menu. We're going to paste that in there. And so now what happens when the button gets clicked on the quit menu or the quit button? So very simply, what we're going to do here is we're going to tell it that application dot quit, okay, is what's going to happen when you click the quit button. Okay, now the reason I kind of did this poorly is I could have simply made another method called quit button or button click to or whatever. I could have added it to the pause menu. That probably made more sense. At the time there, I kind of thought this was easier, but now that I think about it, it's actually not a good way to do it. We're going to save that. Make sure your pause menu, you uncommented this chunk that I commented, because we actually need that for the resume game button. Okay, so make sure that's set. Oh, another thing we can do, is no, we'll keep that because we'll get back to that after. Okay, so we got a quit game script, and we're just going to go back to Unity. And what we can do is we can attach this to anything. I like to attach things to the camera, which is right now inside of player. So we're going to put it on the main camera. So the quit game script is there twice. I must have had it before. And there it is. And what we're going to do is when we have the quit game button selected, I'm going to scroll down to where we have an on click event. We're going to click the plus. And the object that we're going to be looking for is the camera. It really doesn't matter what object you run the script from, as long as the object has the script attached to it. Some people prefer null objects. That's fine too. But you're going to look in the functions, and you're going to look for quit game. You're going to look for button clicked. So basically, if you remember how this works, if we hit the quit game button and on a click, what it's going to do is going to look for the camera. It's going to look for this quit game script that's attached to the camera, and it's going to run the method button clicked. Okay, so that should work. We're going to save it. We're going to test it out. So let's play our game. Here we go. Let's hit escape. There it is. And we're going to hit quit. And I know why it didn't work. All right, I know why it didn't work. This command I just put in would work if we were actually playing the game outside of Unity. All right, remember, right now we're looking at a preview of the game from within Unity. It's called editor view, right? We're still able to make changes and all the rest of it. Once we build the game, it's called a build, right? That's why we go to our build settings. Once we build the game, this command will work. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something a little bit tricky that may not make a whole heck of a lot of sense, but it'll work so that we can actually see it while we're playing the game. All right. Let me see here. The best way to do this would be to... I don't know if I can add this easily. You know what? We might have to leave it for now. We might come back to that after. Okay, we could use a system command. I think I'm going to leave it for now. Okay, you just have to trust me. This will work when we go to build it after, okay? So anyways, now we've got this pause menu that's been updated. And if you remember in our other scene, because I went a little bit too fast, the one inside level 2 is the old one. So let's actually delete that. Let's go to our sample scene. We'll save that. Let's grab this pause menu and copy it. Bring it into level 2 and paste it. Okay, just turn off the pause menu just like we did before. And that should work if we hit escape. Oh, we have to reassign it. My bad. Okay. So that's unfortunate. But we'll have to reassign that. So it didn't like just copying and pasting it. Didn't like that at all. Okay. Okay. So where did we screw up here? Okay. In the camera, we have to set pause active as the pause menu. That's where we went wrong right there. Okay, there it is. And now when we press play, it should come up. I just don't know if the buttons are going to work. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Buttons aren't going to work because we also have to attach. This actually ended up being a worse way of doing it. So we have to attach the camera. Right now we're on, I believe we are on the resume game button. Yes. Resume game button, yep. So we want to go here and we want to go to the pause menu. We want to go to button. Oh, this is really not good. Trying to take shortcuts sometimes is not going to save you time. Oh boy. So let's go check our pause menu because I thought we had the pause menu there. Yeah, we do. Let's check the script for the pause menu. It has a button click there. So let's check why, for some reason, the main camera has the pause menu, but I don't see the button clicked function within there anywhere for some reason. Very strange. I'm sure I'm missing something pretty obvious, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove the pause menu for a second. I'm going to reattach it. I apologize, guys. This is not good. Pause menu is attached. The game object is the pause menu. Okay. We'll disable it so it's not visible. We'll go here. We will load up the camera to there. Pause menu. And I still don't see it unless I'm blind. There should be an on-click command, and it's only button-clicked, I mean, so it's only inside the quit menu. So that's very strange. I'm not really sure why it's not seeing this method inside of this script. We didn't change anything. So when all else fails, what I'm going to do is I'm inside level 2. Again, I apologize to do this. I am going to delete everything in here completely. Get rid of it. I'm going to go back to sample scene, save this. I want to take everything that I had here and copy it, go back to level 2 and paste it. So much for shortcuts. You know, I thought this would save me tons of time, but now actually it's costing me some time here. So let's try again. Let's play this in level 2. Yes, now everything's working. For whatever reason, it didn't like that I had copied just that one menu. So very strange. Anyways, now we got a second level and it's all good. What we're going to do is we are going to add a next level button to the U1 menu that we created in the first scene. So we're going to go sample scene. We'll save this one. And we're going to go to the windscreen. We're going to turn that on. Maybe let's turn off the pause menu so it's not hiding and everything's not showing. And then we're going to go game object. We're going to go to UI. We're going to create a button. Okay, and we'll just move it down a little bit. And it's going, this button's going to be real simple. It's just going to say next level. Just like that. Okay. And it'll have a very simple script attached to it. Let's just scale it up a little bit this way. Oh, not the text, I meant the button itself. No, that's linked to it, unfortunately. Okay, so let's just use the rect tool a little here. This is maybe not the best way to do it. Okay, so now we're going to add a script to the next level button, okay, which is right here. And once again, we could easily add this inside of something else. We don't currently have a script for the windscreen, so maybe let's just make one, create a C# script. We're going to call it win screen. And we're going to double click it to open it up. And what we want to add to this one is we want to using Unity engine dot scene management. Okay. And we will create, in this case, once again, we can use the same button that we created before, the same method. We'll paste that in there, button clicked. And for this one, what it'll do is it will, because all it's going to do really is go to another scene, we can simply add scene manager dot load scene, and then we're going to go to 2 in this case, because we are right now on sample scene. We're going to be going to 2. All right, and we're going to save that. Okay, and now that windscreen button, oh no, it's not attached yet, but we're going to attach it right now. We're going to take that windscreen script. I like to throw everything on the camera, so I'm going to throw it on the camera just like everything else I've got. There it is. And then we're going to go to our windscreen. We're going to go to our button and on click. We're just going to hit the plus. We're going to add the camera. We're going to find the windscreen and we're going to find the button clicked. There we go. Everything should work. So let's go to the windscreen. Let's turn it off. Let's play the level. Find the chests. Boom. 1, 2, 3. We win. Next level. And here we are. We are now inside. Oh, but look at that. Yeah, we forgot to turn the time back on. So you see, the game remembers, so you will have to, on the win screen, I guess we could do it. On the button clicked, we'll set our time scale. Oops, time scale equals 1. Remember, we paused time when we won the game. Save. And now once again, we'll test it one more time. I apologize. You will notice that the game gets darker when we get to the next scene, and that's what I'm talking about. There's this thing in Unity. See how the game's darker? There's just this thing in the editor itself that when you go from scene to scene in the editor itself, it's weird. It doesn't respond to the proper lighting for some reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save my entire project right now. And the last thing we're going to look at here is, because now we've got an escape button, a way to quit. We've got a next level. We've created that. Now I'm going to show you how to build your game. Oh, we've also got an objective. We've got the 3 chests thing. So I actually did quite a bit in this one tutorial. So now let's actually take a look at how you would build it and finalize it and make it, a game you could share with somebody who doesn't have Unity or who just wants to try it out. Okay, so under File, you'd go to Build Settings, and you want to make sure all your scenes are included. Okay, and this is where you can choose where it's going to go to. By the way, you can add PlayStation and Xbox and Switch and all of those. You just have to download them if you're creating a game for one of those. No problem. But because we're working on a computer here and that's where we want to test it, we're going to go to whatever platform we have, whether it's Mac or PC. If you have a PC, I'm on a Mac, but if you have a PC, you can actually install all of the add-ons for PC so that it would make a PC build. It's pretty simple, but for right now I'm on a Mac and I'm going to simply hit build and run. Okay, and because I've already built this game, you may not actually see the settings that I would see in the first build. Basically all it would ask you is, where do you want it to build? You choose a folder on your computer and it'll run through and make all these folders and whatever into one file so that you can just run it from one file. And let me show you how that looks. Let's go build and run. Yeah, this is what it looks like. So first game, hit save, and it says it already exists, so I'll just replace it. It's fine. And this is what it's going to do. It's going to go through and basically package everything together. And then when it finally plays, you will actually see your game as an actual game, as it would look on, if somebody purchased your game to actually play it. So you go new game. Now you get to see it full screen. Looks great, right? We can actually play it, pick up our pickups. And I'm going to tell you guys, it looks, now check this out. This is something I'm glad this came up because I almost forgot to mention it. This is a problem you'll probably see with yours. Your pickups and your menus may not fit. And I'm going to show you how to fix that as well. This is a really long video, but I'm going to show you that as well. Let's see if our escape key works. Quit game. Yes, it does. It works perfectly. So here's one thing I told you way back. Sometimes your menus will not be set to fit the screen. Okay, any UI element, generally UI elements are going to need to be set to fit the screen. So on the win screen, which was the last one we had created, we forgot to change where it says UI scale mode. We want to have it scale with the screen size. All right. And I know in the past I was telling you to do 0.5. That works pretty well. You can also switch it to expand right in here. All right. And if you do that to every menu, the pause menu, the game UI, if all of them are set to the same, expand, now go through all your scenes and check them all, it will work perfectly. All right, and you gotta test the settings to see what works best. But watch what happens now. If I go to my build and run again, by the way, if you've built, it won't ask to do it again. It'll just put it in the same file. Okay, let's start a new game. Okay, beautiful. And now when I go to win the game, I should see... it still doesn't fit very well. But oh, now I actually know what the problem is here too. It is a little bigger, but it's not perfect. So let me show you what happens when you switch this to scale with screen size and expand. What you have to do is go to 2D view, double click on your canvas. Okay, take a look at your canvas. Of course, mine's invisible, so I have to show it. Okay, go to your canvas and you'll see that when you make that change, what happens is your actual canvas enlarges. It becomes bigger. So you have to enlarge your raw image to fit that new size. Because what it's doing when you have it set to that is it's actually showing you the resolution of your screen. All right, and you want to make sure that it's as big as it's going to get, or that it's going to fit at whatever resolution you view this at. All right, and so I had to do that for all of my UI elements. I did the same thing, and that's how you get it to fit nicely. Okay, so we save that. We go to build one more time, and I'm just going to show you that this works perfectly. Here we go, and new game. Perfect. So once we get to the, let's also check the press escape. That one fits nicely, right? Resume game. Get to the third. There it is now. It fits the whole screen. Next level. And as you can tell, even though it looks the same, we are actually at the second level. We could change it up. We could do whatever we want. All right, so that's it. Almost 40 minutes on this video. But we now have a game that is pretty much complete, that you could keep adding on to and making more and more difficult, adding new elements, adding new assets, and adding more stuff to it. But for a basics video, 20 videos really is scraping the sort of tip of the iceberg with what we could do with Unity. And that's why, like I'm saying, I will eventually have an advanced playlist where I show more things that you can do. However, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more content coming soon.